Her birthday is coming, and my heart is dancing with anticipation like a desert wind meeting the scent of roses in bloom. I find myself counting days, hours, even the minutes, not because time is slow but because her special day means more to me than any celebration this world could offer. Every candle she blows reminds me of the light she brings into my life, illuminating even my darkest corners with grace, laughter, and a charm that is exclusively hers. This time, I want her to feel the weight of my love in a way she never has before, like a royal decree written not in ink, but in devotion. I have prepared more than just a gift. I've prepared a moment, a memory wrapped in poetry and wrapped again in sincerity. Her favorite flowers have been ordered, not plucked from the earth but grown with care for this very occasion. I've written verses in the hush of dawn when the palace still sleeps, whispering words into the wind that carries them toward her. Every line rhymes with the truth. She is my muse, my rhythm, my silence and my storm. How could a man like me, wrapped in the layers of legacy and title, feel so vulnerable when thinking of just one smile? She doesn't know it yet, but I've booked the skies. A private night under the stars, high above the world where our love first found its wings. I want her to feel like the queen of galaxies, not just Dubai. I've asked the moon for her light, I've borrowed colors from the sunset, and I've asked the falcons to bless her day with their flight. No royal celebration has felt this personal, because it's not the size of the feast, nor the elegance of the gowns, but the way her name feels when it dances on my lips, like a prayer and a promise. When I look at her, I see more than beauty. I see patience that waited for me to become a man worthy of her love. I see wisdom in her silence and fire in her laughter. So on her birthday, I will not merely celebrate the day she was born. I will celebrate the day the world became brighter because she arrived. I want her to know how deeply my soul bows before her spirit, how every glance I give her is laced with awe. She is not a chapter in my life, she is the epic poem I never stop reciting. Her birthday brings me joy, not just because I get to spoil her, but because I get to witness her receive the love she so freely gives. I imagine her smile when she unwraps what I've chosen. Not jewels, though she deserves them. Not gold, though she outshines it. But letters from my soul, penned by my hands, sealed with truth. Words she'll read when the palace quiets and the stars blink down upon her. Words like, "You are the rarest celebration my heart has ever known." I've gathered stories from our memories, lined them in velvet boxes, and sprinkled them with rosewater. I've sent invitations to my dreams to appear before her in kindness, and I've rehearsed the moment I walk into her view holding not just a gift, but my heart, once more. Because each birthday she lives is another year I get to love her, and nothing excites me more than loving her better than the last year. Oh, how I wait for that morning, the sun rising softly as if not to compete with her glow. I will greet her not with extravagance, but with reverence. She is not merely my woman, she is the rhythm to my desert pulse, the gentle rain after a long drought. I will watch her laugh, that laughter that shifts kingdoms inside me, and I'll know I'm witnessing the art of being alive, through her. The palace staff are curious, for they see the sparkle in my eyes and know I am planning something grand, but they don't know it's not grandeur I seek, it's intimacy. I want her to feel seen. I want her to feel like the world paused to say, "You matter," because she does, far beyond her titles or beauty. She matters because she dared to love a complicated man like me with simplicity and certainty. My heart beats faster every day her birthday approaches. I wake up smiling, knowing I get to honor her. The horses feel my energy, the birds mimic my mood, and even the sea outside my window seems to hum her name. My excitement is not just romantic, it's spiritual. A man like me, a prince to many, becomes a humble poet when her day nears. I am stripped of pride and clothed in passion. I will stand beside her and whisper, "Thank you for being born, and for choosing me." I will wrap her in verses spoken softly under the chandelier of stars. The world may call it a birthday, but I call it a miracle. Because she was born, and then, years later, she loved me, and that is the real celebration. So let the world prepare its gifts, let friends and family gather with cheer. But know this, my heart is the most prepared of all. Her birthday is coming, and I, Sheikh Hamdan, am not just ready to celebrate her life. I am ready to offer mine again, wrapped in love, sealed with loyalty, and forever tied to her name. Tonight, the stars feel closer. As I sit beneath the high arches of the palace balcony, rehearsing each word I want to say, I realize no poem could truly capture her worth. But still, I try. Still, I write, because she deserves 1,000 attempts and more. My pen trembles, my breath stills, and I let my soul guide me. Each word becomes a petal, and the paper before me turns into a blooming tribute to the woman whose birthday I now await with the passion of a lover and the reverence of a believer. I've spoken to the chefs, not to request luxury, but to capture her childhood flavors. The spices she loves, the subtle sweetness that reminds her of her roots, the scent that once filled her mother's kitchen. Her birthday shouldn't be a display of power, it should be a return to purity. A reminder that even amidst gold and grandeur, what touches the heart most are the simple things remembered with love. This year, I want her to cry, but only tears of joy, nostalgia, and awe. Her dress was made with hands that understood elegance and spirit. I didn't ask for diamonds embroidered into the fabric, I asked for grace. I told them, make it look like the sunrise wrapping itself around a queen, and they did. Silken threads of blush and gold, stitched with prayers and woven with loyalty, await her form. When she wears it, the palace will quiet, the air will shift, and I will fall in love all over again. Because beauty doesn't rest on her skin, it radiates. I've arranged a private garden walk lit by 100 flickering lanterns, one for every promise I've ever made to her, and kept. And those I failed to keep, I'll whisper apologies into the petals that line the path. I will hold her hand like it's the first time. We will walk together in silence, not because there is nothing to say, but because some feelings are too profound for words. And in that silence, she will hear the truth, that my life begins again every time she smiles. In the secret box beneath my robe, I carry the final gift. A letter she is to read alone. Not because I am hiding, but because some confessions are sacred. It contains the story of how I almost lost her once, not physically, but emotionally. How I doubted her love, or feared I was not enough. And how her unwavering patience restored me. This birthday is more than a celebration, it's a monument of her resilience, her loyalty, her ability to tame a restless prince and turn him into a man of purpose. The walls of my room are no longer quiet. They echo with my excitement, they throb with the poetry I've poured into them. Servants tiptoe around me with gentle smiles, for they know my heart is no longer in my chest, it's already with her. Waiting. Longing. Dancing ahead of me to the rhythm of a moment I've imagined countless times. The night when I see her eyes widen with surprise, then shimmer with tears, as she realizes, this day was never about a party. It was about her. And as dawn approaches on her birthday, I will rise before the sun. I will bow to the east and give thanks. Not as a prince, not as a poet, but as a man who has tasted the divine through the touch of a woman's love. I will pray that this day wraps her in peace, in joy, and in every shade of affection I can offer. And when she wakes, I will not need to say anything. One look at my face will reveal the 1,000 unspoken verses bursting behind my eyes. There is a softness in loving someone who has already forgiven your flaws. She has seen me falter in moments when even the nation didn't know I was stumbling. She stood beside me, even when I gave her reasons to walk away. And now, her birthday gives me the rare opportunity to celebrate her, not as an accessory to my life, but as the very foundation of it. She is not just loved, she is honored. Music will play, but nothing louder than the rhythm of our history. Photographs will be taken, but nothing will capture the truth of what burns between us like the memory of her lips whispering, "Thank you." For what, she may not even know. But I will. I will know that in her voice, in her touch, in her being, I have found the reason for every poem I've ever written. This birthday, I give her the only thing I have left to offer after love, loyalty, and devotion, my eternity. And in the hours when the world retreats, and the birthday ends for others, it will just be her and I again. No guests, no music, no ceremony, just the quiet echo of her laughter blending with my heartbeat. I will ask her to close her eyes and place her hand on my chest. Do you feel that? I'll ask. It beats not for the throne, not for legacy, but for you, only you. That, my love, is my gift to you. My most faithful rhythm. Her birthday may come once a year, but to me, every day she breathes is a celebration. I cannot contain the thrill of knowing I will watch her glow brighter than any candle lit in her name. I will watch her dance in the light of love she has sown, and I will be there, in awe, just as I was the first time I met her. She will never be alone in this life. Because I, Sheikh Hamdan, was born to honor her. And her birthday is the greatest joy my soul could ever prepare for. In your absence, I sometimes speak to the wind, asking it to touch your face with kindness. And if you feel a breeze caress your cheek unexpectedly, know it was me. So let this be the final chapter in our unwritten book. Let the pages stay open, so that if destiny ever changes her mind, we can pick up where we left off. Until then, I will speak to the moon in your absence, and write to the sky in your honor. This is not a goodbye. This is a pause in an eternal melody. And though I walk this journey alone now, your name remains the best that guides me forward. Hadia, this is my last request. Remember me not as a prince who had it all, but as a man who once had you, and knew that he had everything. When you see it, when your name reveals itself among stars and silence, I ask only one thing. Remember me not as the prince who loved you from afar, but as the man who never stopped believing that your name was the holiest sound he ever uttered. And even if we never speak again, even if fate is unkind, know this, your name, whispered once in secret, now roars in eternity. This is not just a video. It is proof that I loved you beyond fear, beyond rules,